Evening, Teen Chats with Aoife. This evening we're going to talk about intention, because intention rules the universe, and intention is your powerful force for manifestation and creation.
Nice. That's a good lead in. It surely is. And why? Why? It's our direction, isn't it? It's our deliberate direction.
It's our North Star, where we're going, what we want to achieve, who we want to be, what we want to create. It sets up a structure of creation.
Yeah. Yeah, and it gives us like action, like it leads us to action. So when we set an intention for what we want, our desired result, our end result, our goal, intention is a deliberate choice to create action. So it's inspired action, isn't it?
I love that, because if you put it in terms of, I have an intention to travel the world, and if I'm not, well, what comes before the inspired action is the deliberate focus attention on the end result, which is the intention. And so I suppose let's bring it back a bit before that again, because intention can, I suppose, be that like non-productive or dormant or inactive experience or existence where it just becomes a wish and a desire unfulfilled. But the importance of intention being deliberate and involving all of us, so that when we do that, then that's what creates the inspired action. Because when we stake our claim on what we want, and which is our intention for our lives, and we're deliberate and conscious about that, that's where the ideas and the inspiration comes for the inspired action.
Yeah, the intention is kind of like taking control of the choice that we want. Going from choice last week, we're just like, we have a choice, and then the next step is setting the intention for the choice that we want to make, isn't it? It's kind of like the roadmap to the end result. So, looking at a roadmap, right? My intention is to get from A to B. And then it's like, how do I get there? What comes then? What comes next?
Yes, and go back to the roadmap analogy. If I do not have an end result, if I do not have an intention of where I'm going to go and what I want to achieve, well, then I just drive or travel aimlessly. So then the quality of intention then is important.
Yeah, like the clarity and the preciseness of the intention you want to set as well, like keeping it very, very clear, keeping it very, very precise, keeping it very, very specific as well. So there's no kind of gray matter. It's like, this is the intention. And that could be even like an intention to get up in the morning and have a great day, a magical day. So you're kind of already setting the momentum to create that magical day.
And that is what it is. It's that, because we bring everything back to the basics of what it is, and its energy. And our momentum will either continue to go in the direction of what it's used to. Energy follows the path of least resistance, right? And it will do that unless we have clear, focused intentions. So without intentions, what happens? We just continue to perpetually create more of the same thing. Hence the power of intention, and intention rules the universe.
Yeah, and like with that, then the intention is more like a decision, a clear decision, like it's like making that decision and making that clear decision in order to have focus to drive forward. So it's kind of like releasing all the fluff.
releasing all the fluff. And what,
So
what
to
would
say.
the fluff be? Releasing all the fluff. What is the fluff? Fluff.
All that nonsense that you don't need, you know, if you're making that really deliberate, conscious choice that this is what I intend to do, this is where I intend to go, this is what I intend to have at the end of this journey. And things that aren't necessary tend to fall by the wayside. It's like you have the blinkers on, you're the horse, like with the blinkers on, running to the final furlong. You know, nothing on the outside is there in the vision. You're just setting your intention and you're directly heading that direction, you know.
What comes to me there, Aoife, is then that is the significance when you describe that, the horse with the blinkers, moving towards the furlong. It's like that's the importance of the clear focused intention, because linking back into what I said, as in the old habits will continue to circulate, our energy follows the flow of least resistance. So your system will want to follow what's familiar and what it's used to. But with a clear focused intention, there's no ifs, buts, and maybes. There's no excuses and reasons, which will inevitably happen. When you said getting rid of the fluff, getting rid of the nonsense, that is the nonsense that will be gotten rid of when your intention is clear and precise and focused on where you're going. Because when the old programs, as I always say, throw their toys out the pram, you know, they get territorial and they get annoyed that you want to get rid of them. It's like they will do everything in their power. They will make you justify continuing all the habits. They'll make you reason why you're going to continue to be a certain way. And it's like, when that inevitably happens to all of us, guys, all of us, it'll inevitably happen with change, then that is the power of a clear, as Aoife said, decisive intention.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I think, Lynn, like, I mean, science has proven now that we have what is called a reticular activation system, the RAS. So the RAS is in our primitive part of our brain. And what that does is it filters out the billions of information we get per day. Joe Dispenza says it's like billions. So it's kind of like when we set an intention, like we're setting a direct call, maybe. It's like, you know, the RAS, like an example would be if you want to buy a certain make of car, and you have that in your mind. My intention is to buy whatever car, Merc or whatever. And then you see Mercs everywhere. You know, so that's your RAS, your reticular activation system, like drowning out all the other bits of information and bringing your brain, your mind, in alignment with what it is you want, which is the intention that you set.
Yeah. And I love that, because that's literally how we operate, because that's what we become focused on. That's what we zone in on, and then what we look for, we get.
Yeah.
And when
it's the energy again, isn't it? It's the like magnetic energy. You know, it's the intention, it has an energetic force.
Yeah.
You know, or power. I don't like the word force. Yeah, power. Magnetic.
Or whatever. Everybody likes to use their own words at different stages, right? But it's that magnetic pull. It's like you will be magnetically pulled towards what you desire. And that trick then becomes, it's like when you hold that intention, when you decide on the intention, and we work with this with our clients, Aoife, right? It's the CSI methods. It's like that cognitive, somatic, intuitive aspect that integrates us as a whole needs to be activated and created and integrated into the intention, so that when the old does kick up a storm, that all of you is involved in the intention. Your cognitive, your intuitive, and your somatic is all singing off the same hymn sheet and is all dancing to the same tune.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like your body, mind, and soul alignment. Everything's in alignment. So it's kind of like it's like the road narrows, and the viewpoint, the viewpoint in art, we teach the viewpoint for perspective. And like you have your VP point, VP1, VP2, when you're drawing perspective, it's like you have this imaginary point, and everything funnels into that point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's so, like, when you say art like that, it's amazing, because that is what we're doing. We are
Creating.
creating art.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Our life is the tapestry, and we are the artists.
Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah. That should be a song.
I won't start singing now.
Yeah.
But isn't that like, there's a beautiful natural structure to creation, and when we understand those elements that are necessary to come together, to integrate as the whole, we come from the essence of who we are, and we naturally are gravitate and navigate towards the higher version of us, or into creating healthier, happier living.
Yeah. Yeah,
Whatever
definitely.
that looks like for the individual.
Yeah.
Take
And
it.
it is then,
I
it's like when
hate
you,
that.
huh?
I was looking for closer to the screen. I was like, my glasses look like this.
It's like though, it is really, that's why I say, like, forgetting about all the other fluff, because it is really, just being kind of single-minded, really, and and quite linear with what your intention is, and being direct,
But at the same time, and I should say, and at the same time, this is the beautiful balance of almost like the masculine and feminine, right? The yin and the yang, that yes, to be linear, to have the mind directed towards one space. But when you're in your authentic, when you're doing all this from your authentic self, you're still at the same time open to opportunities that arise within that structure.
Yeah, but the opportunities then that arise are in synchronicity with your intention.
Yes.
It's like opening that like passageway, or that tunnel, or that door, to direct you to take in all, like you said at the start, the law of manifestation and creation. It's kind of like when you set that intention, then it is the law of attraction that things start aligning and everything kind of synchronizes for you. And you can decipher then as well between what's right or what's not right when you're developing your intuitive gifts. Like intuitively, that you're on the right path. It's like these messages coming at you saying, yeah, keep going, keep going, keep going, giving you that momentum that you're on the path of least resistance, like Abraham Hicks says,
Yeah, which is one of the natural laws of the universe, right? Yeah, that's a very powerful point. It really is. It all becomes aligned and it all feels right. And there's like that knowing when the intuition is brought in and developed within it. And it goes back to that RAS. It's like what you intend and what you focus on. And then you aligned the intuition and the somatic. It's like there's these opportunities naturally occur. And when you're in that state, that perspective, that knowing, that structure, you see them.
Yeah. And you also, I find when I set an intention, I can see the opposite as well. I can see when things aren't aligning. So it's kind of like you kind of see, wait, now that's not coming with me on this little journey. You're like, okay, I can see that a bit clearly. It's kind of like, when you have that tunnel vision, the RS is feeding you're filtering all the things that you don't need and all the things that you do need. The things that you don't need in your life then are really obvious. aren't
Mm.
they? You kind of, you see, oh no, that's not drumming to the sound of my beat, or
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
The way that you're used to living, how you're used to being and acting and processing and perceiving in your life, you realize then when you're creating from a clear, focused intention, you can feel the almost like, for want of a better word, the negative energy or the psychological tension of that old stuff that doesn't align to the higher version of you and your creations, right? It's like, oh, I can feel it even thinking about it. It's
but it
like,
falls away as well. I find, it's, you feel it, but it's not all consuming. It kind of falls by the wayside. That's the fluff that falls by the side, I find. Like, because I think when you
when you
set
have, it's when you have that clear, defined
direct, yeah,
intention, isn't
yeah,
it? And
yeah,
that's the power of intention, guys,
yeah, and the magnetic force.
because that's what we are.
Yeah.
We are a force that magnetizes to us what we intend to create.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Brilliant. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for another night.
Take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you again soon.
Yeah. See you all. Good night.
Right.